Have you ever been to one of those rituals where somebody starts a chant and then everybody waits for the priest leading it or the priestess leading it to take a breath, and they're like, are they keeping it going? Are they? And the chant kind of dies. Anybody been to that ritual? Okay. Has anybody led that ritual? Okay. Yeah. All right. It happens. These things happen.
This is not a judgment call.
It's not a you suck. This is just in Western culture, particularly in America, we are not an ecstatic culture. We're ecstasy is for sports events. The end of a play when we all clap together. That there's times when we can be loud and
sex.
Those are yes. Sex, but not too loud, so you don't wake up your neighbors. We have these regulated little boxes of ecstasy.
Giving a
not the pill, the experience.
Giving a 20-second introduction to the history of paganism in America. One of the roots of Wicca, especially, is from ceremonial magic. Ceremonial magic also comes from like Roman state religion or Catholicism, before when the Romans kind of stole some of that. Some of those state religion and combined that with Christianity. So a lot of our history and a lot of our inheritance as ritualists is very ceremonial, is very rise as you are able, doing a ceremonial action.
No, they don't ask, just rise.
Yes, rise.
Kneel, say a prayer, you're done. Yeah.
Right, and it's not very connected to the body. Ceremonial magic typically is not about what you do in your body. It's about taking wisdom that's internalized and externalizing it. This is why Dion Fortune calls ritual magic the yoga of the West.
So the kind of ritual work that we do, our specific focus with ritual work is we often are looking to not just celebrate the season, but to use those seasonal energies to affect personal transformation. And we do this in what's called an ecstatic ritual style. Is anybody here familiar with reclaiming or Diana's Grove? Okay.
And ever been to like a shamanic ritual or shamanic working?
So if you see images of a shaman, and I use the word shaman to mean the spiritual worker of many different tribes and cultures.
As opposed to like the spiritual worker of the people in Siberia.
The Tungus tribe, yeah. You'll often see the shaman singing and dancing. If you see voodoo, you see the drums, you see people chanting and they're getting possessed. And there's a reason that singing and dancing and moving, chanting actually brings up an ecstatic state in us. There's a reason that works. When I talk about energy, a lot of people in the pagan community think, energy is this thing that some people see, but not everybody does. And to a certain extent, that can be true. I'm not one of those, despite my middle name, I'm not one of those folks who sees auras. My parents were hippies. They named me Shauna Aura. For me, energy is in your body language. Energy is when you're singing. Energy is when you're drumming, when you're snapping your fingers, when you're moving. I can tell the energy of a room by your actions. I don't need to see your aura or your energy field. I don't need to be able to see that, have that second sight.
To get woo-woo very quickly, when most pagans are talking about energy, they're talking about raising chi, life force within their body, and they're pushing it outside of themselves and they're doing something with it. Okay? That's one model of energy. Another way to look at it is that yes, we are all energy beings, we're all full of chi and life force, but instead of expending it, if I change my vibration, then your vibration is going to change to match it. It's going to model. So I'm not expending any chi or life force, I'm just moving my own chi, change the vibration, and then if Shauna's changing her vibration to go with my vibration, and then you're doing what Shauna's doing, and you're changing your vibration, then our group energy is changed and it's different. But we're still using traditional like chi or life force or energy.
So what we're going to do in the class is we're going to do a really quick spin through what I would call the common neo-pagan ritual model that you see at a lot of festivals and events. And so we're going to go through that, but go through it not as far as magical or religious intention for the different pieces. But as far as psychologically and physically, what should each piece of this ritual do if you want to build a lot of energy by the end of it? So we're going to go through that. We're going to talk a little bit about some pitfalls and tools of ritual, some common things that go wrong. One of the things that can tank out your energy really quickly is poor logistics. Actually, and before we do that, we're gonna brainstorm just a little bit about bad things you've seen in ritual, and we'll talk a little bit about
Ritual
that.
gone wrong.
Ritual gone wrong. And then we're gonna do some exercises together, and but I do want to go ahead and start out with an exercise, just to get our voices warmed up, and yeah, I think what we'll first do is just go around with everybody's names, and then we'll do a little something energetic, because I don't know when you guys woke up, but I woke up about an hour ago and I'm still kind of shell-shocked. So let's just go around with our names. I'm Shauna.
I'm Mark.
So who here is just toned together, made the sound kind of like we're a singing bowl? Have anybody done that? Okay.
Or even like the syllable om. Om.
Om, that's toning.
Okay.
So we're going to tone together, and we're just going to make that singing bowl sound, and I want to kind of let it go. So even if you need to take a breath, just keep going after that. And then when it seems ready, we'll stop. So we'll just start it out and just join in.
And you can't do this wrong.
There's really,
Okay.
yeah, you can't do it wrong.
All right.
Nice. So imagine if we could all sit there and do this together every day. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Or if we did like a healing circle, we just had one person in the middle, and there are our vibrations of healing and positive intent. We're helping that person in the middle.
So there's your super secret ritual energy technique. Number one is if you want to do a healing ritual and you have no idea how to do it, you're not trained in Reiki, you're not trained in any energy modalities. If you get a group of people, you could put somebody who needs healing in the center, and you can just sing a tone together.
Or if you're freaked out, like, oh my goodness, I can't give my energy. If I do something with my energy, the gods will explode and my brain will kill me, or something like that.
I don't think that's ever happened.
We've had people freak out on things like that. Like, oh no, I can't add my energy. This is safe. Mm-hmm. You don't have to put a shield around someone or shield around yourself. I guarantee after doing this several dozens of times, no one's going to die.
Sound healing is a really old technique. There's a video we just watched. We were teaching in Illinois, and somebody gave us this video. It's called Dances of Ecstasy. If you're interested in ecstatic ritual or in just the basic tools of raising energy and ritual, it's a great video if you can find it. And it essentially goes through the different shamanic traditions, the Sufis, when they're spinning around the world like dervishes, it goes into different shamanic techniques, voodoo, Ifa, and they talk about raising spiritual heat. And they all talk about essentially that the shaman who's going to do the healing has to sing and has to dance to raise up enough energy to do it. And I think it's really, really interesting how visceral it can be and how easy it is when it's visceral. This is stuff that anybody can do. It's hands-on energy work. You don't need to have any skill to make a tone. You don't need to have any skill to snap your fingers. Some people can't do it. You can stomp your hand. You can stomp your feet. You can clap. You can make sounds. Anybody can do movement. You don't have to be a dancer to do shared body movement together. If you get a circle of people together and you're doing shared movement, you're raising energy. Think of energy like calories. When you eat food, you're burning calories. When you're moving, you're burning more calories. The friction of your muscles moving is causing heat in your body. Heat is energy. You know, let's just go back to physics here. It doesn't need to be woo-woo to be energy. You are producing energy all the time. When your voice, when you're speaking, when you're singing, you are changing the universe with your vibration. My heartbeat is actually perceptible to a microphone, to the right microphone, all the way over there. And so we believe in magic of some sort.
If we all held hands, our heartbeats would actually start to sync after a while. It would take a little bit, especially the larger the group, but it would happen.
So that's your breath.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and so that's a technique of chanting, is that we're all usually breathing in the same moment is one of the things that'll happen. But I mean, if we believe in magic, and if I believe that holding an intention and sending that intention out to the universe as a spell, I also believe that my heartbeat can be heard over there and that it can change you. That our sounds change the world. And so if we have an intention, we can raise energy for it by singing and moving and dancing. We can raise energy for it by doing shared things together. We can hold that intention and raise energy for it by eye contact, by connecting to each other, by deeply communing and seeing one another. Who here has seen the movie Avatar? The most pagan movie of last year.
Yeah.
The phrase of ritual greeting that they have for each other is, I see you. And what if we actually meant that? What if we actually looked at each other and saw each other? That's energy.
You see this echoed in India with the greeting Namaste, which means I see the divine within you. It's the same concept. Oberonzel said this in the Church of All Worlds, thou art God, thou art goddess. Got that from Stranger in a Strange Land. So there's this idea that in ritual we can connect. The divine in me can connect to the divine in you. And if we're all connecting to the divine in each other, well then, can you imagine how much that magnifies in a group? That we're all sharing and participating in the divine work together? How amazing can that be?
So, what I want to do now is write out the basic process of ritual. While I'm doing that,
Yes.
maybe you can talk through some of them and we can kind of go through. I'm trying to figure out how to position myself here, so, or maybe you sure can.
Watch your cord.
My tail is,
Yes.
there we go. All right,
So,
yes,
okay.
there we go.
So the process that Shauna is about to outline, a lot of this does come from reclaiming, and this model actually comes from almost your standard Wiccan circle, but it's deconstructed just a little bit to be more inclusive. Now, what I mean by inclusive is that you can have a ritual with 5 people, or if you're Shauna last year, PSG, and has the gravitas to do that. Shauna was leading the public ritual PSG for 500 people. That's a lot. Shauna's I gotta give this woman her due. She's an amazing ritualist. But anybody could do that with enough training and a little bit of planning. Now, one of the things, once again, I'm talking about inclusivity. That just means we're all doing something together. One major difference you'll notice, and we'll talk about, is when we're casting the elements, instead of one person standing at the edge of the circle, facing that direction, everyone facing that direction, and calling that element, or actually that would be evoking the element. Instead of that, we're doing it together. So can you imagine that we're all facing each other and we're calling that element together? Can you imagine also that, if I just go in Hermetic philosophy, because I love alchemy oh so much, that there's this idea of the microcosm and macrocosm. That those 4 elements, you're not summoning out there from the realm of fire and like a magic fire's coming down from Fireland. That's not what's going on in many ways. If you want to believe that, that's totally okay. I'm not going to wreck your belief system. However, I like you to think that we have that fire within us, that air, that water, that earth, and that we are calling the elements together. We're calling attention to them. And as we call all those elements together, then that's evoking them. That's bringing them into the circle. Does that make sense? So the first off, when does your ritual begin? Anybody? What's that?
In the planning stage.
Yes, in the planning stage. And what's that?
Planning, yes.
So when you plan that ritual, before you make your announcement about that ritual, that's when the ritual really starts. It's in that little, conception stage. From there, when you planned your ritual, you planned your event, there's probably other stuff going on that day as well, just other than the ritual. When those people come through the door, they need to feel welcomed. They need to feel that they're part of it. If we're doing ritual in a group, what makes people feel comfortable is that they know they're welcome. They know that they're going to be part of that ritual. If you have someone that comes to a ritual and they haven't been welcomed, they don't feel like they're part of the group, they're not going to participate as much. They're not going to add their energy as much as someone who feels like they're part of the team. It's kind of a standard thing. You want to feel like you're part of the group. You want to feel like you're belonging. And this echoes what we're doing spiritually of connecting as a group. So then, the other thing we like to do is have a pre-ritual talk.
It's really important to let people know that if they're going to be visiting 7 altars and depositing a stone in 7 altars, that you let them know ahead of time, we're going to be visiting 7 altars. And you can visit these altars in any order. Or you must start at this altar, and then go to this altar, and then go to this altar.
Or if you're having a chant in a ritual, it's great to rehearse that chant beforehand, not only so people can get familiar with it, but also they can warm up their vocal cords.
Warm up their voices. I'm used to singing at events. Singing in the morning is a little harder for me, but I have a stronger voice than most people. And so, my voice is more ready for things. Most people who don't sing every day, they try and sing a chant and their voice gets tired. So giving them that vocal warm-up really helps. And
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how well you sing. It doesn't matter how well you dance or move. It just matters that you're doing it.
Yes.
That you're participating and everyone else is. And that's what makes the ritual that more amazing. Just that everyone's working together.
And just for a moment of transparent process, Mark, I wonder if we move this bench just a couple inches back, everybody can see the whiteboard here.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
We're at 9:22, by the way.
Okay. So I want to make transparent that this is a basic ritual format used in reclaiming Diana's Grove, and it's what I would say when I go to a lot of festivals, pagan prides, events. This is kind of the most common ritual format that I see, where there is some kind of a grounding meditation. There is a circle that's cast. Elements are invoked or evoked. Deities are invited. And then there's some kind of a working. And so we're talking about the energetic pattern of this. And if you're an ADF Druid, if you're a Celtic Reconstructionist, if you're a heathen, if you do some other ritual format, this basic flow is still in effect. It's just that your particular pieces of the ritual that are here, the names will be different, and some of the slight functions will be different.
One thing I want to talk about in the circle casting, one major thing we do differently is we're not casting a magic circle and there's strict boundaries, and if someone needs to go out of the circle, we cut a doorway. We don't do that.
We don't do that. And what we do with circle casting is actually a lot closer to ADF or Celtic Reconstructionist.
Or the heathens can do.
Or heathen ritual, where they don't cast a circle either. In our case, we're coming together as a group. And for us, that's what we call circle casting in the ritual, is just all of us acknowledging that we are here as a tribe for this time.
We are the circle. We are a living circle. And logistically, this is so nice when there's kids.
Yeah.
Because I've been in plenty of rituals, standard Wiccan ritual, where it's like, oh great, there's kids, now I gotta cut a circle and they're gonna just ruin the circle. This makes things a lot easier.